Well, the start of the new year comes with new laws here in Colorado. Some of them will be a huge help for families in our state, especially if you have new babies or young children.
9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles joins us live from the state capitol to explain what's changing with family leave and wait lists for daycare in Colorado. Jenny, what have you learned?
Okay, guys, so there's a couple of things coming up in the new year that could really affect families who have little new babies or maybe babies who are getting ready for childcare. Anyone in Colorado who has ever tried to find affordable or available childcare knows it is its own special level of HE double hockey sticks. It just stinks trying to figure out the daycare equation. Maybe you've gotten on a wait list. Maybe you've got to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in fees just to apply, to wait weeks, months, years. Maybe you never get a phone call. Well, there is a new law in Colorado that is trying to tackle that very problem.
I started looking for wait lists when I was pregnant. I had paid money to be put on some of these wait lists.
Danae Escar tried to get ahead of the childcare search, but ran into a familiar problem.
My child, the first child I'm talking about, is now 4.5 years old, and I have yet to hear from any of these daycare centers about her movement on a wait list, whether she was kicked off, allowed on. They just have my money and she's sitting on a wait list that I no longer need.
The former Democratic state lawmaker and now parent is part of a coalition in Pueblo that helped push a new law requiring most application, deposit, or waitlist fees be refundable if a family doesn't get offered a spot within 6 months.
I hope this helps people find the quality childcare that they absolutely deserve and aren't faced with even another roadblock of a fee that they can't afford.
Because it is brutal out there.
Another new law this year, an expansion of Colorado's family leave program, up to 12 more weeks on top of the 12 available already for NICU families.
I feel like it's a total game changer for NICU families.
While her daughter spent 60 days in the NICU, mom Hannah Lynch balanced the stress of a sick baby, another child at home, and work, all to save her limited leave time.
I would have been able to take some of that time while she was still in the NICU to be able to be at the bedside more.
Having a parent at the bedside, I always say this to all the parents, is you're like medicine for your baby.
Dr. Jennifer Zank is a neonatologist at HCA Health One Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children. And she says, yes, this law will help relieve parents' stress, but it's good for babies, too.
And the moment they come through this unit is a time in which families need to be involved, and their involvement really does have a long-term impact on these babies to be able to do better, go home sooner, and then even from a long-term perspective, do better developmentally.
Okay, so real quick, let's go back to that daycare list law. So the refundable application fee, this applies only to private facilities, so it's not going to be for things like Universal Preschool, Colorado Child Care Assistance Program, Head Start. And if you do happen to get on one of these wait lists, you've paid an application fee and they do call you within that 6-month time frame and you've already gone elsewhere so you don't end up using them, you're not eligible for a refund in that situation. If you do get in, though, and they charge you a deposit for that wait list, that money has to go toward tuition. So lots of little moving parts here, guys, in the daycare law. There's a lot more information about this online, and we'll be sure to share that in our story as well. Last thing I want to tell you, that little girl featured that had been in the NICU for weeks and weeks on end in our story, little Kinsley, she is about to turn 5 years old. Mom says she's doing great. She's doing regular therapy, but also like dance lessons and just flipping around being a happy little almost 5-year-old.
Great
Girl.
news.
It is great news, and that's why I'm sorry, break it down to this level, but I love to see women lawmakers because they get it and they fight for the things that moms need.
Amen.
And it's so beautiful to see.
Yep, representation matters.
It does.
That's right. Oh, you're emotional.
I am.
Love
That's
that
so
about
huge.
you.
That's huge.
Yep. Jenny, thank you.